Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Um, to my co-masterants, especially to our professor, Ma'am Iris Hazel Hain. I'm going to report this afternoon about recruitment and selection. By the way, this is Jomar Abilia, your reporter for the subject. Okay, so what is human resource management? Okay, so human resource management, what we call as the HRM or HR, is a strategic approach to the effective and efficient management of people in a company or organization such that they help their business gain a competitive advantage. It is designed to maximize employee performance in service of employers' strategic objectives. So it's very clear that human resource management is very important in selecting people, no, qualified applicants, no, human resource play vital part in in the development or the enhancement of the company's productivity. Okay, and it is already part the selection and recruitment, which we will be going to discuss later. Okay, so we have here the definition of the recruitment and selection. So first, it is the process of generating pool of qualified candidates for a particular job. Second, it is the process of discovering potential candidates. That's why we have this recruitment process. So it's very important for a company or an agency to have this recruitment process to ensure the quality, the the productivity of the company, as well as it will be able to meet the goals and visions of the company or agency. So recruitment has also goals, no? So the first goal is to attract the qualified applicants. So how they will attract, no? So in agency or in a company, so it's very there are lots of ways and means on how to attract applicants, qualified applicants, because they are searching in this process. They are searching for the qualified applicants and fit for the job, and they also encourage unqualified applicants to self-select themselves out. So therefore, if you're not qualified, why you're going to apply that job? So simply, logically, di na lang ka apply because you're not qualified. But if you have the pertinent the qualifications, why not? So you have the chance of being hired. So that's why the recruitment goals has two main goals. Okay. Okay. So a recruitment is a two-way process. So first we have the part of the organization or an agency. The organization is looking for qualified applicants. That's why we have this recruitment, you know. So because they already studied what are the qualifications based on the criteria that they are using, no? Mm, and in the part also of the applicants, they are looking for potential emplacement opportunities. So just like in the DepEd, so we have lots of applicants. Okay, so if you're going to take a closer look about the recruitment process, so as I have said, the recruitment is a two-way process. It is within the organization and the candidate. So in the organization, we have this vacant or new position first, generate candidate pool via internal or external recruitment methods, then evaluate candidates via selection process. Then next, you have to impress candidates, then make an offer. So that is in the part of the organization. So that is the process, you know. And in the part of the candidate, we have receive education and choose occupation, acquire employment experience, search for job openings, apply for jobs, impress company during selection process, then evaluate jobs and companies, accept or reject job offers. So the candidate usually we have to prepare, you know, you have to prepare about his qualification if he or she is fit for the job. Okay, so we have this strategic recruiting decision. So there are three strategic decisions. So we have the HR planning decisions, strategic recruiting decisions, and uh, decisions on recruiting resources, sources rather, or methods. So under HR planning, so we have here how many employees needed, when needed, then KSAs needed, special qualifications. Then the HR planning decision, these are the factors that you're going to consider. Well, the strategic recruiting decisions, where they to recruit internal or external. So by the way, there are two types of recruitment. We have internal and external. Who to recruit, flexible staffing options. Then we have nature of job requirement. So there are three factors to consider. Then in decisions on recruiting resource or methods, we have advertising choices and recruiting activities. Okay? Okay. So we have the strategic recruiting decision. So under this one, the first column we have flexible staffing and the description in the second column. So we're going to know what are the types of employment here. So first we have the regular employment. So it describes that regular employment consists of continuous, predictable, and scheduled employment of 6 months duration or longer. Regular employment may be full-time or part-time. Then, of course, the under regular employment, we have 6 months probationary. No? So in other agencies, as I've observed, it is 6 months probationary, and then if your performance is good, then you will be regular. The next type is we have the full-time or part-time. So full-time employment schedule consists of regular schedule of 3.5 hours per week. Part-time employment consists of regular schedule of less than 37.5 hours per week. Then we have independent contractors perform specific services on a contract basis used in a number of areas, including building maintenance, security, and advertising public relations. Okay, so next we have this number 5, temporary workers. This is based on try before you buy approach. Employers who use temporary employees can hire their own temporary staff or use agencies supplying temporary workers. Such firms supply workers on a rate per day or per week basis. So it is very common, no? Especially for the temporary workers, construction workers, for instance, uh, no work, no pay. So if they were not able to work that day, so there will be no income for that day. Uh, they're going to test their employees. That's why they try before you buy. Because if the employee is not performing well, so it's simply they will going to reject that one. So di na dawaton because of this performance. So performance basis. So that's why it is temporary. But if your performance is good, so probably you'll be hired for the next contract, or you will be regular for the next project. Then in number six, we have seasonal employees. So seasonal employees are hired to work on a part-time basis by companies that need extra help during a particular season, typically the Christmas season or crops harvesting. So next, we have the sources of recruitment. So we have two sources of recruitment. We have the internal sources and external sources. So what is internal sources? It composed of job posting and bidding, promotions and transfers, employee referrals, recruiting former employees and applicants, and internal recruiting database. So it is within the company. No, it's very clear, no? It's within the company or within the agency. So for instance, in the depth end, no? So we have this what we call as the ranking, ranking of pictures. So you're going to have this ranking, then the teachers will produce uh, documents that will prove that they are fitted for the job and based on the points and criteria and guidelines of the DepEd. Okay, so we have the sources of recruitment. So that is internal, external. So in internal sources, we have advantages and disadvantages. So you're going to compare it. What are the advantages? It is moral of promoting, better assessment of abilities, lower cost for some jobs, motivator for good performance, causes a succession of promotions, have to hire only at entry level. So it states that uh, generally, no, because you know already the employee, it is much advantage because you're going to adjust, it's already adjusted, no? You kabalo na ka, what is the character, uh, what is this abilities and pitfalls, no? Then disadvantage is in reading. Why? Because under internal sources, uh, even if you are not qualified, no, because of the connection or something, so probably, for example, yung anak, so probably ma-observe siya sa company, not knowing not considering the and uh, abilities and talent of that particular employee. Then possible moral problems of those not promoted. So probably, so for those within the internal sources, no, within the company, there is jealousy will come out, no, kanang jealousy. Why is it, no? There are lots of what we call this times that they will not accept, no? Dili siya na madawat nga siya may na-promote or something siya na-hired. Then we have this political infighting for promotion. Okay, so that is internal, no, within the internal. So that's why in the case of DepEd, no, I have heard some of the teachers filed cases, no, because of that kaning kaning what do you call this promotion. They're not fitted for the job, but because of this malakasan system, that's why the other parties will file for a job because it is unfair for they feel that it is unfair for them. Okay, so there are lots of cases in the DepEd, political fighting for promotion, need for management development program. Okay, so Kinahanglan po jud og development or enhancement, okay, of employees. Next, we have the external sources. So under external sources, we have schools, colleges, and universities, then labor unions, media sources, and employment agencies. So it's very clear, no? It is a type of sources coming from schools and universities. So nasa gawas. And also we have these media sources coming from it when it is being posted in the internet, no? Job hiring. Then we have these employment agencies. Okay. So sources of recruitment, external sources, we have the advantages and disadvantages. So it is advantage. The advantage of it is from external. It is new blood brings new perspectives. So it is new blood meaning fresh pa kayo, no? For example, those applicants that are very young, so that are then they are being hired. Lucky for them because in that case they will be trained by those who are veterans on that job. Then cheaper and faster than training. Then we have professionals, advantages of no. Then no group of political supporters in the company. Organization already may bring new industry insights. So those are the advantages of external sources. Then disadvantages may not select someone who will fit for the job or organization. May cause moral problems for internal candidates not selected, longer adjustment or orientation time. So it's very clear that the disadvantages, it will may cause uh, uh, you may able to have these sources of people that will not fit for the job or organization. Mm. Then we have this longer adjustment orientation time. So since they are not uh, familiar with the job, still you're going to train them. So that is the disadvantage. Then we have the internet recruiting methods. So we have these internet recruiting methods, job boards, and employer websites. Okay. So there are lots of websites as we have noticed in the internet. Hanggang kayo. We have this example, we have this Monster, Expo, careerbuilder.com, Second Life, Yahoo Jobs, and many more. So as I have observed during this pandemic times rather, it is very easy for the job seekers to apply through internet because of our technology. No? You're going to present all the credentials using the internet. You're going to send it through electronic mail. Then you will just wait for how many days you're hired through computers. No, that is the advantage of internet. No, through website lang ka mo-apply. Okay. So next, you have the internet recruiting methods. What are the advantages? So the advantages of internet recruiting method is cost saving, time savings, expanded pool of applicants. So if you're going to relate it in our situation today, it's very applicable, no? Just like we are doing now. We have this online reporting, but in the case of this one, recruitment also, it is cost savings, time savings, no? Then we have expanded pool of applicants. The disadvantage is more unqualified applicants because through internet it's really different if you're going to hire it face to face. No, you don't know what is the background, what is the personality of that person compared to face because it's only in the internet. That's why more unqualified applicants will be hired. Then we have additional work for HR staff members. So, daghan na pong matrabaho ang HR staff ani. Many applicants are not seriously seeking employment. Yes, because okay ram po sila og dili ma-hired because for the sake of lang, apply lang. So they are not serious if they are in the internet because pa naman sila. Not in person man ang ilahang approach. Not uh, personal rather. Then we have this access limited to unavailable to some applicants. Okay? So, ang uban po, wala pa internet. So, they find hard to apply for a job using the internet. Okay? So, what are the constraints? So, what are the constraints of recruitment? Meaning, what hinders recruitment? So, we have the image of the company. So, if the company is a bad image, so naturally, uh, the applicant will not apply because of the bad image. No? So, apply pa ta nga, di maayo ang company or agency. So that is one of the constraints. Second is attractiveness of job. So if you have because the employee now seeks for higher salary or higher compensation. That's why the company must or the agency must attract applicants uh, for the salary, no? So in the case of when you're going to go abroad, employees from employers from abroad, they will attract applicants through their salary converted to for example from dollar to peso, no? Naku na kayo. Then we have internal organizational policy. Okay? So what are the policies of the company? Is it fit for you or not? For example, if ang policy dito, di ka pwede mo kaon na di ka, so ganahan ba mo? So, it really depends on the one. Okay? Kung pahugtan nyo sa company, so definitely, there will be no applicants anymore. Gamay na lang or naamang ganit. Then we have this recruitment cost. So for example, if the company will demand money, no, before you will be hired. So naturally, the employee will not pursue in applying for the job. Okay. So this is the flow chart of a company in recruitment. No? Recruitment. So this is the flow. So first we have the business objectives, then HR planning, then job analysis. So in job analysis, we have this job description and job specification. Okay. So the next level is the recruitment. Then after that is the selection. So recruitment first, then after that is selection. Okay. So what is selection? So what is the basic criteria? So the basic criteria of selection, we have this formal education, experience, and past performance, physical characteristics, personality characteristics. No? So it's very clear na you will you will select, no, with good formal education. Much better if you are graduated higher masteral, for example. So much better kanang masteral studies because you have assumed that you have more knowledge already. Then experience and past performance also because experience, that is experience is the best teacher, no? Then experience also place bigger points, no, credits during application. When you're going to apply them, physical characteristics. So physical characteristics is your what 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 is your physical what you call this? If you are fit to work or not. So if ever you have disease or something, so naturally the company will not hire you because you have this disease, no? Or one. Then we have also this personality characteristics. So if you're even you're good in your performance, but if your personality is bad, still you will not hired because they're looking for an applicant that is fitted for the job. Then we have these three most common methods in selection. We have this testing, gathering information, and interviewing. Okay, so under testing is to test the measure knowledge, skill, and ability as well as other characteristics such as personality traits. So under testing type, we have the cognitive ability test, personality test, physical ability test, integrity test, drug test, work sample testing. Okay, so these are six types of testing under selection process. So when you speak of cognitive ability testing, it means the learning, understanding, and ability to solve problems intelligence test. So that is cognitive. Yung physical ability test, it assess muscular strength, cardiovascular endurance, and coordination. So therefore, you must be physically fit when you are going to apply. Dapat wala kayo sakit-sakit. Then personality testing, it measures the patterns of thought, emotions, and behaviors according to Myers-Briggs. So it's very important, no? Sa puton po kay ka niya, dili maayo mo ah, workmates, maging alubilo ka, dili ka friendly. So it really affects also, no? In how you deal with your workmates or employees or tanan nga factors affects your uh, personality. Number four, we have integrity testing. So what is integrity? It is designed to assess the likelihood that applicants will be dishonest or engage in illegal activity. So cheating, something like that. So it's not good. So they're going to test through some sort of questions. You're giving questions. So how you're going to answer it? You're going to react. Situational. Then that's it. Number six is drug testing. So normally requires applicants to provide required sample that is tested for illegal substance. Okay. So if you're going to relate it, what happened to the policeman, no, na may type food test when you're going to apply at PNP, not only drug testing, you have the psychological test, no? Psycho. But sad to say, some of the applicants will be able to pass the test even they are not fitted for the job. So there are so many instances that even the policeman, no, sila may culprit sa crime. Okay. Then five is work sample testing. So measures performance on some element of the job. Okay. By the way, I'm not applying to all policemen. It's my own point of view because some of it they are abusing their authority, no, as policemen. That's why they must be punished. They must be punished according to in accordance with the law. Okay. work sample testing, by the way. So measures performance on some element for the job. So if you are very good for the job, so depende na sa company if you'll be hired. So here, you have to sum it up. What is the difference between the recruitment and selection process? So there are five differences, no? So recruitment is a process of searching the candidates for employment and stimulating them to apply for jobs in the organization, whereas selection involves the series of steps by which candidates are screened for choosing the most suitable persons for vacant position. Okay? So it's very clear no nga it much um, the process is not really it's really difficult no, in terms of selection because they have series of steps no series of process just like we have mentioned before no uh, testing katong mga testing ganina all those and we have this basic purpose of recruitment is to create talent pool candidates to enable the selection of best candidates for the organization by attracting more and more employees to apply in the organization. Whereas the basic purpose of selection process is to choose the right candidate to fill the vacant position in the organization. Okay, number three, we have recruitment is a positive process, encouraging more and more employees to apply, whereas selection is a negative process or negative approach as it involves rejection of the unsuitable candidates. No, it's very yung tag negative, not humane siya nga style kay you're not treated, you're reject diretso, but in recruitment, uh, you will still give you chances, no? Naagya po kay chance. Then it will gather pool of candidates. So compared to selection, gamay rin na sila. But in recruitment, dagan yun ang candidates. Therefore, we have recruitment is concerned with tapping the sources of human resource, whereas selection is concerned with selecting the most suitable candidate through various interviews and tests. In the ganang interview, if you're going to have this selection compared to recruitment. Okay? Number five, there is no contract of recruitment established in recruitment, whereas selection results contract of service between employer and selected employee. So, it's very clear nga still na nyo tayong contract, no? Nagyapon, but in the debt end, it is a lifetime contract. But here in this um, in the private company or agency, ayun siya kay anytime if your performance is not good, probably you will be rejected. Because if you compare the difference between the two, the selection is somewhat harsh no compared to recruitment. Murag humane lang recruitment kontra sa selection. Okay? So we have this the topic of the day. If an HR person is trying to choose people for an organization, knowing their values is very important. If they are not consistent with the organization's values, they are not likely to stay very long. That is according to Roger Collins, Professor Roger Collins. Okay, so that's all for this afternoon. Thank you. And thank you, Kumasterans. God bless.